Welcome to the Underdog Pick'em Show on the LineStar YouTube channel. Alongside my co-host, Tyler Wiemann, I'm Shannon Sommerville, and we've got your top 5 NFL player picks for Week 16 in Underdog Fantasy. Right now, you can actually also get a 30% boost on Underdog. And if you don't have Underdog yet, what are you doing? Go download it. Use the promo code LineStar when you do so you can get a nice deposit match. Plus, you can also get 1 free month of the LineStar app, which is the app that we're using to help us find the best value on Underdog. We have a tool specifically called the PropsAI tool that has a tab specifically for Underdog, so you can go help yourself to find the best value in the market on Underdog Pick'em. So make sure to check that out at LineStarApp.com. And if you could do us a huge favor before we get rolling here, because we got a lot to get to in this Week 16 slate, but do us a favor and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. It enters you into our prop bets contest. If we go 5-0, one randomly selected commenter will win $100. Got to be in it to win it. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. And you are indeed in it to win it. And I know everyone's getting ready for the holidays this week, but we appreciate you coming in and joining us as we get set for Week 16 here. A lot of great games on the slate. And Tyler, I think my new mission in life is unlocked. I have to win a lot of Underdog pick'ems if I want to go out and buy the Jets back from Woody Johnson.
So you're not going to go by Madden ratings to pick your team?
Yeah, I don't think that will be my philosophy when I am approaching the draft and trading players. I'm not going to go by Madden, you know? We're just going to go by the LineStar App PropsAI tool. That's what we're going by, Tyler.
I love that story. I so highly doubt that it really had anything to deal with it, but who knows?
Yeah. If for those that don't know what we're alluding to right now, The Athletic published a report today basically talking about Woody Johnson and some of the, I guess, decisions from an ownership perspective that they've been making that have just basically it essentially, without saying it in those words, it seems like the Jets from an organizational standpoint, a bit of a dumpster fire, but I don't think we needed a whole article to point that out for us. But I saw my mission. I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and just buy them. You know what? Underdog Pick'em. We'll do some best ball contest. Maybe hit it big there.
With the 1,000 X's.
Well, let's start sending it because last week's 3-2 performance not quite going to get there for us. Just recapping last week's real quick. Where we did right was Joe Mixon, Jonnu Smith, and Tyler. Your CD Lamb pick was awesome. He went off for 116. Najee Harris, though, didn't get there for us in the rushing yards department. Pittsburgh in general was that was a bad game for them. Garrett Wilson. It wasn't a Garrett Wilson game, although he still had 56 receiving yards, but didn't get over that 60.5. But it was a Devontae Adams game, apparently, in that one. So we're going to get back after it this week, try to go 5-0, so one randomly selected commenter can win $100. And a couple things to note before we dive into the picks. We've got some good picks, but I do want to make you guys aware, if you're not already, there are some weather conditions across the country, so make sure as you're doing your Underdog Pick'em entry to make sure that you are checking on those weather conditions. We got some rain, some snow, some cold weather in the forecast, which could all, of course, impact those player picks. So let's get things started with a pretty cold weather game in this one. Buffalo Bills taking on the New England Patriots, and we are rolling with Buffalo Bills running back James Cook, higher than 64.5 rushing yards. LineStar's projection likes this, as does the consensus, and Cook's averaging about 64 rushing yards, but has been higher than this 7 of 13 games going up against a New England rushing defense that ranks 29th in DVOA. And then you've got to consider the game script in this. Buffalo 14-point favorites. That could favor the running game in this one. And what could also favor the run game is some freezing temperatures and possible snow, although we do know that Josh Allen is basically the abominable snowman. I don't think the Bills are, I'm not so concerned about the Bills in terms of those player props, but definitely concerned for the New England Patriots and their quarterback, Drake May, who could run into some problems because he's from, warmer weather. So that'll be interesting to see as well. But for our purposes, we like James Cook for our pick. What do you think, Tyler?
Hi. I mean, Patriots have just been a total mess all season. And that goes along with the running game. People have just been gashing them over and over again. You said they're 29th in DVOA. Mm-hmm. We have them on our team defense tool 31st. They've been a little bit better over the short term, but all in all, Cook is just too efficient and too good. I think he gets over this line. The only worry for me is that the Bills get out to a very quick,
Yeah,
big lead, and then they're just able to use, other running backs. But
sure.
I think Cook is going to get this. 64.5 is just too low for him.
All right, next up, let's head to the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. And in Mac Jones, we trust? Okay, well, let's go to the tight end, Brenton Strange. Higher than 35.5 receiving yards. LineStar in the consensus on our side in this one. And even though Strange is only averaging 23.5 receiving yards per game, you've got to consider the fact that Evan Ingram is done for the season, and he got monster targets last week against the Jets, hauling in 11 of 12 targets for 73 yards in that one, going up against a Las Vegas Raiders defense that ranks 26 in pass defense DVOA versus opposing team's tight end. This is a nice spot here for Strange and could also help some fantasy owners out there that are in their season-long playoffs. What do you think?
Yeah, and the thing with Strange is he did it when Evan Ingram was out earlier this season. Now we have more guys out. So it's just, more targets going his way. He had 12 targets last week. No Christian Kirk, no Gabe Davis, no Evan Ingram. And then the Raiders are giving up 64.9 receiving yards per game to the tight end. So I like the spot for Strange.
Yeah, he was limited in practice. I will note that, but I still like this play here. I think it's just, out of precaution. I'm not too worried about the injury report status. He should be a full go as of right now. That's the latest information that we're dealing with there. All right, let's go to another tight end in the NFL. Minnesota Vikings tight end TJ Hockenson, higher than 41.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection is all the way at 58, the consensus around 51. And Hockenson had 52 last week against the Chicago Bears, and this week going up against the Seattle Seahawks, who are kind of middle of the pack in terms of that pass defense DVOA stat versus tight ends. But consider the fact that Trey McBride had 70 receiving yards against them just a couple of weeks ago. And I also used Tyler Conklin as a barometer check here too, because even though he only had 31, which is below that 41.5 number, that's like 10 above average for Tyler Conklin. And if you watch the Jets as much as I do painfully, you know that's probably bodes well here for Hockenson this week. Tyler, what's your assessment?
I like the spot for Hockenson. Seahawks have been bad versus tight end for years now. We have him as 24th on our team defense tool. Not quite as good as Brenton Strange, who we just talked about, who's 31st, but Hawkinson's in a great spot. And Seahawks just really have struggled to stop good pass catching tight ends. You mentioned that with McBride. McBride went off twice against them. So I think TJ Hockenson can definitely do it when Seattle's giving up 72.8 per game to the tight end over the last 4.
Do need to note in this game, this is one that is calling for rain in Seattle. However, I'm still not scared away from this prop in particular because we just like TJ Hockenson and he can get it done. And that actually might favor Hockenson, maybe some short passes over the middle if the rain gets too bad. What are your thoughts on that?
The other thing is being a Pacific Northwest resident myself is typically the rain here isn't very hard. It's just consistent. And so
I love this weather report we're getting from
Yeah, I'm not really worried about the weather unless, this is a huge weather event. And I just don't think it's that.
All right, so let's roll with those 3. Plus, Tyler and I now have our top picks on Underdog for Week 16. So, Tyler, what player pick are you rolling with this week on Underdog?
I'm going to go with one of the more exciting games of the week, and that is the Steelers versus the Ravens. And we're going Najee Harris over 13.5 rushing attempts. Our LineStar projections 17.4. The consensus is only 12.3, but I think the consensus is just wrong. The average 16.4 so far this season for Najee Harris. He has only been under twice all season. One was the blowout loss, and then the other one was versus Indy, where they narrowly lost, but he was just totally ineffective, and he had 13 carries for 19 yards, which, that's almost our line, and that's him doing absolutely awful. So I think they're going to try and establish a run, going to try and keep to it. As long as this stays close, they're going to keep handing him the ball. And remember, it's going to be without George Pickens. So they're going to need their guy Najee on the field.
I mean, that has been the recipe, right? Is to just
Mm-hmm.
try to control the ground game and just eat away at the clock, keep it away from Lamar
That
Jackson.
dude.
That's kind of the game script for them. So kind of suffocate teams to death. I always feel like the Steelers offense is kind of like a boa constrictor. Like before you know it, the time is up and you're like, wait, what's happening right now? We're about to lose this game to the Steelers when we have this great offense. That's kind of how they do it. So I think that's a good pick there with Najee. For my pick, I'm going to Chicago and Keenan Allen, higher than 52.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection is 61. The consensus is around 55, and Allen's averaging just over 46 receiving yards per game, but has been higher than this in 3 of the last 5, including last game against Detroit, where he had 73 receiving yards. And this week, going up against the Lions, they just, I feel like, lost everybody on their IR. They lead the NFL with most players on their injured reserve with 21. They just placed 2 cornerbacks on there, in fact. And I think the chemistry from Keenan Allen and rookie quarterback Caleb Williams is pretty good. I mean, even though the passing game has taken a drop off over the last couple of weeks, that's something that's been a bright spot for the Chicago Bears. And Keenan Allen is a guy who could definitely generate those explosive plays they need to maybe pull off an upset in this one. And who knows? We do know that the Lions, and on the other side of things, Jared Goff, tends to struggle when you get him outdoors in cold environments, and that's going to be the environment here. We're looking at cold temperatures in Chicago in this one, and I looked up a stat. In fact, in 12 games with air temperature 39 degrees or colder, Goff's passer rating is around 75, and his yards per attempt is 6.3, which is a pretty big drop from his career numbers, which is 95 career passing rating and 7.5 yards per attempt. So that is something else to look for in this game. But for us, we're just more focused on the Chicago Bears and them making sure to get Keenan Allen the ball in this one. Also have him on my fantasy squad. So as I do when I can, I like to consolidate, where I'm channeling my fan energy. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Good work.
So those are our top 5 picks on Underdog for week 16. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you love them, if you hate them, that's fine too. But also let us know where you're headed this week in Underdog, because there is a nice 30% profit boost right now. So we're all trying to help each other out so we can all go out there, pull our money together, and buy the Jets back from Woody Johnson. That's the goal at the end of the day, Tyler. Good luck to everybody week 16. Wishing you all the best this holiday season. Let's go crush it out there, shall we? Good luck, everybody. Bet responsibly. We'll see you next time.